Hello, my name is Tom, and today we're going to be replacing a gasket on our Kohler Canister flush valve toilet. So according to what I have researched on this, it's just a matter of taking the existing canister out, removing the old gasket, and putting this one on in its place. This is part number GP1059291. You can purchase it at Lowe's or Home Depot or Amazon. I'll put some links into the description so you can see where I got it from, but it should be relatively easy to do, and so I have it step by step that we're going to go through and replace it on this toilet. Now, this toilet was installed in, I want to say 2011. I bought 3 of them at the time for each of the bathrooms in the house, so was able to keep everything consistent. However, finding parts for these toilets is extremely difficult because each of the different models of the Kohler toilet, including the Cimarron model, have different tank numbers and different canisters that are used. And all my research has shown that the canister itself doesn't need to be replaced. So that's why I'm saying we're going to start with this gasket and see if that stops the problem that we're experiencing, which is basically a constantly running toilet. Last night I came in here after seeing that the toilet was running and shut off the water. You can see that the valve is right there on the wall, so you want to make sure that your first step is to shut off the water. Then we'll go through and see what we can do. So I hope this video helps you out, and we'll just take it from there. So we're going to open up the tank, and as you see, there's still a little bit of water in here. Like I said, the water is shut off, so we're going to remove the water as best we can from this tank. And it looks like we're already below the line, so that water's not going anywhere. So our next step, we'll just move the tank cover off to the side here, so we have a little room to operate. And I'm going to sit down. And the first thing you want to do is remove the water line from the actual flush valve. Looks like it's a little hard to get off. I'm going to take it off from this side because I know that just slides right out. And we're going to put that off to the side. The next thing that we're going to do is turn this piece right here where the water pipe was going into, and it should be a counterclockwise turn. And so once we're going to counterclockwise turn, there's a center stand that's in the middle there, and that may or may not come up with this, but we'll see what happens once we make the change. So hopefully this does what we expect it to do. Let's try and make that counterclockwise turn. Seems to be a little stubborn. Could be because it's been in here for 13 years already, but I don't want to break this. Okay. That doesn't want to move. That does not want to move. All right, I'm going to see what else I can figure out on this one before we do anything. Bear with me. Okay, so I'm back. I just discovered that there's multiple types of caps on the top of these canisters. And so one of them might be yellow, which screws off, and then this black one, like we have on this toilet here, it's actually attached to the center stem. So you need to go down and just hold on to the entire center stem and turn that counterclockwise if you have a black cap on the top. So we do that, it pops right out, the canister pops right out, and then we'll just need to, oh wow, that's bad. We'll just pop this chain right off, And just remember where your chain actually reattaches on the link so that it's appropriate to the water level that you had there. So we'll take this off, and as you can see, we have a very damaged seal on this one, so we're going to take that off. I'll put that right there. Clean the rest of this off just by taking my fingernail across it and making sure we get all of that debris off so that there's a nice clean seal when we put the new one on. Now, this is a good idea to do with any kind of gasket that you ever replace, whether it's a water filter in your house or even car engines or whatever. You always want to make sure that when you put something back on, it's always in a nice and clean environment for the new item to sit on, and that way you'll avoid future problems. So that's what we're doing here. So just, you know, making it clean with my finger, and that looks pretty good. So there's also a little bit down here on the actual bottom portion of the drain, so I'll just do the same thing down there. So both sides you want nice and clean before it makes a nice tight seal. So just bear with me for a moment and we'll get this all taken care of. If you notice down the bottom, after you pull it out, you can see that there's a way that the canister actually sits in there, and then you turn it to lock it, and that's also the same that you see on the bottom portion. So it makes for a nice, easy assembly and reassembly. Now, you know, I'm told that these canisters never fail, so you know, if you were looking at part numbers to replace the canister itself, then you know, that may or may not be needed depending on your own situation. But I did have a hard time trying to find anything in regards to the model numbers or anything on this toilet. They're supposed to be written right on the back here of the tank, so that you can identify what you're supposed to have, but this one did not have that. So I don't know if it's just worn off or whatever. There's a barcode on the front, but there's no model number. So like I said, I bought 3 of these, so I was able to open up one of the other toilets and saw the model number that this one was for. But from what I'm finding on all the websites, this particular gasket will work with any of Kohler's canister models. So the 5-inch or the 6-inch canister models that it's referencing. So I'm going to open up this packet here and get this reinstalled. Then to reinstall it, just so you see, I'm just putting it right around the outside. There's a lip that you want to make sure it gets into. You just run your finger right along it to make sure it's inside that lip, and you're good to go. So we should be all set. And so you want to make sure that your center stock here is angled the right way. When you put it back in, apparently I'm having a little bit of trouble with that, so let's see if we can try that again. There we go. All right, and then you want to, again, put it so it's clockwise on the turn now, and if you have the cap, the yellow cap, then you want to put that back on, but if not, the black one's is fine. The canister can move up and down. You want to make sure that you reattach your flush valve chain. And again, like I said, I mean, you might need to have a pair of pliers to do this. So let me grab those just to make it a little easier, hopefully. There we go. Much easier when you do what you're supposed to do. And then you take your white fill line, and if you took it off of the fill valve, then put it back on the fill valve. If not, just put it back into the cap, seat it back in there, and then you're ready to turn the water back on. So you do that. And then hopefully, once it gets to its fill line, it'll stop, and all the leaks that we had will have also stopped. And so we'll just give it a second. This particular model is a 1.28 gallon tank, so it shouldn't take too long to refill. While you're in here, I mean, you also may want to take the opportunity to adjust the fill line if it's too high or too low. I tend to like it a little bit higher, but that's your preference. All right, so now we're done, and we're not running anymore. The tank stopped, so we are good to go. So hopefully this helped you guys out, and give the video a like and subscribe for more. Thank you.